Welcome to my channel, old valuable chiller. Stop scrolling and take a deep breath, because this tiny coin could be worth a fortune. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, minted from 1909 to 1958, is one of the most valuable and searched coins in U.S. history. Rare dates like the 1909 SVDB, 1914D, and 1943 copper wheat penny can sell for hundreds, thousands, even over $1 million depending on condition. Collectors look for sharp details, original color, and mint marks that make these pennies extremely rare. Many people still find wheat pennies in old jars and pocket change today. So before you spend that penny, check the date and mint mark. It might just be a hidden treasure hiding in plain sight. First up, stop scrolling for a moment and take a deep breath, because today we're uncovering one of the most interesting Lincoln wheat pennies that many people still overlook. In this video, we're diving deep into the 1951D 1-cent coin from the United States, a classic wheat penny that continues to surprise collectors with its history, varieties, minting details, and real collector value. If you ever search your pocket change, inherited old coins, or wonder whether a wheat penny is worth more than 1 cent, this video is for you. The 1951D Lincoln Wheat Penny was minted during a fascinating time in American history. The early 1950s marked a post-World War II economic expansion in the United States. Industries were booming, families were growing, and everyday coins like the Lincoln cent played a crucial role in daily commerce. This makes the 1951D penny not just a coin, but a small piece of American history you can hold in your hand. This 1-cent coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1951, the design had already become one of the most recognizable coin designs in the world. Lincoln's right-facing profile symbolizes unity, leadership, and American values, which is why this design remained in circulation for decades. On the reverse side of the 1951D penny, you'll find the classic wheat ears design. 2 wheat stalks curve along the edges, framing the words 1 cent in United States of America, with a national motto, E pluribus unum above. This wheat reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958, making the 1951D penny part of the final decade of wheat penny production, which adds to its historical appeal. The D mint mark on this coin indicates that it was produced at the Denver Mint. The Denver Mint was known for producing large quantities of coins to meet the needs of a growing nation. In 1951, the Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents, which means the coin is not extremely rare, but condition and errors can significantly affect its value. The metal composition of the 1951D Lincoln Wheat Penny is another important factor collectors care about. This coin is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which gives it that classic reddish-brown color when well preserved. Because of its copper content, many people mistakenly believe all wheat pennies are worth huge amounts, but the real value depends on condition, originality, and rarity within the series. When it comes to condition, collectors usually look for strong details in Lincoln's hair, cheek, and jawline on the front of the coin. On the reverse, the wheat stalk should show clear lines and separation. Coins that have minimal wear, strong original luster, and no damage are always more desirable. Even small differences in preservation can make a noticeable difference in collector demand. One of the most exciting aspects of the 1951D penny is the possibility of errors and varieties. Coin errors happen during the minting process, and they can turn an ordinary 1-cent coin into something truly special. Some known error types to look for include doubled lettering, off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks. These errors are not common, but when found, they can increase the coin's value significantly. Doubled features on the date or lettering are especially popular among collectors. These occur when the coin die shifts slightly during the striking process, creating a doubled appearance. While not every doubling is valuable, strong and clearly visible examples are highly collectible and sought after. Another thing to watch for on the 1951D penny is overall eye appeal. Natural toning, even color, and clean surfaces make a coin stand out. Coins that have been harshly cleaned or damaged often lose collector interest, so originality is extremely important in the coin collecting world. Now let's talk about value, which is what many people are most curious about. In circulated condition, a typical 1951D Lincoln Wheat Penny is generally worth more than face value but still affordable for new collectors. These coins often sell for a small premium due to their copper content and collectible status. However, coins in higher condition, especially those with strong detail and original color, can be worth significantly more. Uncirculated examples of the 1951 D penny are where values begin to climb. Coins that have never been used in circulation and still retain their original mint luster are much harder to find today. Exceptional examples can command much higher prices, especially when demand is strong among Lincoln cent collectors. Era coins and top-quality examples are where the real excitement happens. A 1951 D penny with a dramatic mint era or outstanding preservation can be worth many times more than a standard example. That's why collectors are encouraged to carefully examine every wheat penny they find, because you never know what hidden treasure might be sitting in a jar or old collection. The 1951 D Lincoln Wheat Penny is also popular because it represents the end of an era. Just a few years later, the wheat reverse would be replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. This makes all wheat pennies, including the 1951 D, nostalgic and historically significant to collectors around the world. Another reason this coin remains popular is accessibility. Unlike ultra-rare key dates that cost thousands of dollars, the 1951 D penny allows beginners to enter the world of coin collecting without a huge investment. At the same time, advanced collectors still appreciate high-quality examples and rare errors, making this coin appealing across all experience levels. If you're searching through old rolls, estate collections, or inherited coins, always handle your pennies carefully. Avoid cleaning them, as cleaning can permanently reduce collector value. Instead, store them safely and take time to learn what makes each coin unique. The Lincoln Wheat Penny series as a whole is one of the most collected coin series in U.S. history, and the 1951 D 1-cent coin plays an important role in that legacy. It may look ordinary at first glance, but its history, design, and potential value make it anything but ordinary. Next up, stop scrolling for a moment and take a deep breath, because today we are uncovering the real story, hidden value, and collective importance of one of the most searched classic American coins, the 1951 United States 1-cent coin, also known as the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny. The 1951 1-cent coin is a fascinating piece of American history that continues to attract collectors, investors, and everyday coin hunters across the world. Even though it may look like a simple copper penny at first glance, this coin holds historical importance, minting details, and value potential that many people overlook. Millions of these pennies were used in daily transactions during the early 1950s, yet certain examples today can be worth far more than 1 cent. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny was produced during a time when the United States was recovering from World War II and entering a new era of economic growth. Copper was once again available for coinage, allowing the U.S. Mint to return to the classic bronze composition that collectors recognize and love. This coin represents stability, tradition, and a continuation of one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. On the front of the 1951 1-cent coin, you will find the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design first appeared in 1909 and became the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure. Lincoln's portrait on the 1951 penny shows strong detail in the hair, coat, and facial features, especially on coins that have seen minimal circulation. The words "In God We Trust" appear along the top, with liberty to the left and the date 1951 position on the right. Turning to the reverse side, the classic wheat ears design immediately stands out. Two wheat stalks frame the word 1 cent and United States of America, symbolizing America's agricultural strength and prosperity. This reverse design is why collectors commonly refer to these coins as wheat pennies. The wheat design was used from 1909 until 1958, making the 1951 penny part of the final decade of this beloved series. The 1951 1-cent coin was struck at multiple U.S. Mint locations, and each version has its own collector interest. The Philadelphia Mint produced coins without a mint mark, while the Denver Mint produced coins bearing a small D beneath the date. There was no San Francisco Mint production for regular circulation pennies in 1951, which makes the Philadelphia and Denver issues a primary focus of collectors. In terms of mintage, millions of 1951 pennies were produced, which means many examples still exist today. However, condition plays a massive role in determining value. Pennies that were heavily circulated often show wear on Lincoln's hair, jawline, and coat, as well as flattening of the wheat stalks on the reverse. These circulated examples are commonly found in collections and coin jars, yet they still hold historical value and collector interest. What truly excites collectors are 1951 pennies that remain in strong condition, with sharp details, clean surfaces, and original color. Coins that retain their original reddish tone are especially desirable, as copper naturally darkens over time. Even subtle differences in surface quality, strike strength, and preservation can significantly affect collector demand. Another important factor that increases interest in the 1951 1-cent coin is the presence of minting variations and errors. While major errors are rare, collectors actively search for off-center strikes, doubled lettering, die cracks, and other unusual characteristics. These errors occur during the minting process and can transform an ordinary penny into a standout collectible. The copper composition of the 1951 penny also adds to its appeal. Made primarily of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, the coin has intrinsic metal value in addition to its collector value. This traditional bronze composition was used for decades and gives the coin its classic weight, feel, and color that modern pennies no longer share. From an educational perspective, the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny is an excellent coin for learning about American numismatics. It introduces collectors to concepts such as mint marks, strike quality, historical context, and preservation. Many experienced collectors began their journey by discovering wheat pennies like the 1951 in pocket change or inherited collections. Estimated values for the 1951 1-cent coin vary widely, depending on condition and mint origin. Circulated examples are generally affordable and popular among beginner collectors, while higher quality coins can command noticeably higher prices. Well-preserved pieces are often sought after by those looking to complete wheat penny sets or invest in classic U.S. coinage. The Denver minted 1951 penny also draws attention due to differences in strike quality and overall availability. Some Denver issues are known for bold details, which makes strong examples especially appealing. Collectors often compare Philadelphia and Denver versions side by side, studying small differences in lettering, spacing, and overall appearance. Beyond value, the emotional and historical connection to the 1951 penny cannot be ignored. This coin passed through the hands of Americans during a time of post-war optimism, growing industry, and cultural change. Each penny tells a story of everyday life, from grocery purchases to newspaper sales, making it a tangible link to the past. For collectors outside the United States, the 1951 1-cent coin also represents American heritage and global influence. Wheat pennies are among the most recognized U.S. coins worldwide, and the 1951 issue is often included in international collections due to its classic design and accessibility. Proper storage is essential for preserving the condition of a 1951 penny. Exposure to moisture, air, and improper handling can accelerate discoloration and surface damage. Collectors typically store these coins in protective holders to maintain their appearance and long-term value. The popularity of the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny continues to grow thanks to online searches, coin hunting videos, and renewed interest in vintage currency. Many people are surprised to learn that coins they once overlooked may carry collector value today. This curiosity has made wheat pennies one of the most searched coin topics online. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just discovering the world of coin collecting, the 1951 1-cent coin offers a perfect balance of history, affordability, and long-term interest. It serves as a reminder that even the smallest denomination can hold significant cultural and financial value. As you search through old collections, inherited boxes, or rolls of pennies, keep an eye out for the 1951 date. Examine the coin carefully, note its condition, and appreciate the craftsmanship that went into its creation. Every detail matters, from the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait to the clarity of the wheat stalks. Next up, the 1956 D 1-cent coin from the United States is one of the most fascinating and widely searched Lincoln Wheat pennies among collectors, history lovers, and everyday people who wonder if the old penny sitting in a drawer could be worth real money today. If you have ever asked yourself whether a 1956 D wheat penny is rare, valuable, or collectible, then this video will give you everything you need to know in one complete and easy-to-understand explanation. The 1956 D 1-cent coin was produced during a time when the United States was experiencing strong economic growth after World War II. America was expanding rapidly, and coin production was at high levels to support everyday commerce. The Denver Mint, identified by the small D mint mark on the reverse of the coin below the wheat ears, struck hundreds of millions of pennies in 1956. Even though it was produced in large quantities, this coin remains highly collectible today because it belongs to the famous Lincoln Wheat Penny series, which ran from 1909 to 1958. The obverse of the 1956 D penny features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln. This design was created by Victor David Brenner and first appeared in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Lincoln faces to the right, and above his head appears the word liberty, while the year 1956 is clearly visible. In front of Lincoln's face is a familiar motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that has become deeply rooted in American coinage history. On the reverse side, the 1956 D wheat penny displays two curved wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. Above the denomination is a Latin phrase, e pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This classic wheat design symbolized America's agricultural strength and unity, and it is one of the main reasons collectors still love wheat pennies today. The composition of the 1956 D 1 cent coin is another important reason why it continues to attract attention. The coin is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which gives it a rich reddish color when well preserved. Each coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. Because of its high copper content, many people are surprised to learn that the metal value alone can sometimes exceed the face value, although collector demand is a true driver of its worth. One of the most common questions asked online is whether the 1956 D wheat penny is rare. In general terms, this coin is not considered rare in circulated condition because the Denver Mint produced well over 400 million examples that year. However, rarity changes dramatically depending on condition. Coins that have survived with minimal wear, strong details, and original copper color are much harder to find and can be significantly more valuable. Condition plays a critical role in determining the value of a 1956 D penny. Coins that were heavily circulated often show wear on Lincoln's hair, cheek, and jawline, as well as flattened wheat ears on the reverse. These circulated examples are still collectible and commonly sell for more than face value, especially if they retain a nice brown or red-brown color. Uncirculated 1956 D pennies are far more desirable. These coins show no wear on the high points and often have sharp details, strong lettering, and clean surfaces. Coins that retain a bright red copper color are especially popular among collectors and can command higher prices due to their eye appeal and scarcity in top condition. Another exciting aspect of the 1956 D 1 cent coin is the possibility of errors and varieties. Error coins are among the most searched topics in numismatics, and the 1956 D wheat penny is no exception. Some known errors include off-center strikes, clip planches, double strikes, and die cracks. These errors occur during the minting process and can turn an ordinary penny into a highly collectible and valuable piece. One of the most talked about error types involves double details caused by die issues. While dramatic double varieties are not common for this year in mint, minor doubling on letters or numbers can still add interest and premium value. Collectors should always examine their coins carefully using good lighting and magnification to look for unusual features. Color is another major factor when evaluating a 1956 D penny. Collectors typically classify copper coins into three main color categories: brown, red-brown, and red. Brown coins have toned naturally over time and are the most common. Red-brown coins retain a mix of original mint color and natural toning. Fully red coins preserve most of their original copper brilliance and are the most desirable and valuable. The estimated value of a 1956 D wheat penny can vary widely. Circulated examples commonly range from a few cents to a couple of dollars depending on condition. Better preserved uncirculated coins can be worth significantly more, especially those with strong luster and minimal marks. Coins with errors or exceptional eye appeal can reach even higher values in the collector market. Beyond value, the 1956 D 1 cent coin represents an important chapter in American coinage history. It comes from the final years of the wheat penny design, which ended in 1958. Just a few years later, the reverse design would change to the Lincoln Memorial, marking the end of an era that many collectors consider the golden age of Lincoln cents. The historical significance of the Wheat Penny series makes the 1956D issue especially appealing to both beginner and advanced collectors. It is affordable, widely available, and rich in history, making it a perfect entry point into coin collecting. Many collectors aim to complete full sets of Lincoln Wheat Pennies, and the 1956D is an essential piece in that journey. Collectors often ask how to properly store and protect a 1956D penny. Because copper is sensitive to environmental conditions, it is important to keep coins away from moisture, heat, and direct handling. Holding a coin by its edges and storing it in a clean, dry environment helps preserve its condition and color over time. The popularity of Lincoln Wheat Pennies continues to grow thanks to online searches, social media, and YouTube videos like this one. People love the idea that a small, everyday coin could hold historical value, and possibly even financial value. The 1956D 1-cent coin perfectly represents this appeal, blending history, affordability, and collectability. If you have inherited coins, found old pennies in circulation, or discovered collection in storage, checking for wheat pennies like the 1956D is always worthwhile. Even common dates can surprise you with their condition, color, or unique characteristics. As we look back at the 1956D wheat penny today, it stands as a reminder of a different time in American history, when coins were made primarily of copper and carried simple yet meaningful designs. It is a coin that tells a story far beyond its 1-cent face value, connecting us to the past through everyday objects that once passed through millions of hands. Now we will stop for a moment, and imagine holding a small copper coin that quietly marked the end of an era in American history. Today we are exploring the 1958 United States 1-cent coin, a Lincoln Wheat Penny that represents the final year of one of the most iconic designs ever produced by the U.S. Mint. This single year carries historical importance, collector demand, and hidden value that many people overlook. If you have old pennies stored in jars, drawers, or inherited collections, this video could change the way you look at them forever. The 1958 1-cent coin was struck during a time of major transition in the United States. The country was moving forward into the modern age, and 1958 became the final year the famous wheat ears appeared on the reverse of the Lincoln cent. After this year, the design would permanently change to the Lincoln Memorial, making the 1958 penny the closing chapter of the Wheat Penny series that began in 1909. Because of this, collectors around the world pay close attention to 1958 pennies, especially those in high condition or with rare characteristics. On the front of the 1958 penny, we see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design created by Victor David Brenner. This portrait was originally introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, making it the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure rather than a symbolic image. Lincoln's profile faces to the right, with the word Liberty clearly visible on the left side, and the date 1958 positioned on the right. Above Lincoln's head is a national motto, "In God We Trust," which by this time had become a standard feature on U.S. coinage. Turning to the reverse side, the classic wheat design stands proudly for the final time. Two wheat stalks curve upward along the left and right edges, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America. At the top sits the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. This design symbolized America's agricultural roots and stability, and its retirement after 1958 marked the end of nearly 50-year tradition. The 1958 penny was produced at two different mints. Coins struck in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those produced in Denver feature a small D mint mark below the date. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 252 million pennies in 1958, while the Denver Mint produced more than 800 million. These large production numbers mean that many 1958 pennies still exist today, but condition plays a massive role in determining value. The composition of the 1958 1-cent coin is another reason collectors find it appealing. It is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a rich reddish-brown color when well preserved. Each coin weighs 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. Because of the high copper content, these pennies feel heavier and more solid compared to modern cents, and many collectors prefer them for that reason alone. While most circulated 1958 pennies are common, the real excitement comes from condition and rarity. A penny that spent decades in circulation will usually show wear on Lincoln's hair, cheek, and coat, as well as flattening of the wheat stalks on the reverse. These circulated examples typically carry modest value, often just a little above face value. However, coins that were carefully saved or stored can be worth significantly more. Uncirculated 1958 pennies with sharp details, strong luster, and minimal marks are far more desirable. Coins with original red color are especially sought after because copper naturally darkens over time. A bright red 1958 penny that has never been cleaned or damaged can command strong interest from collectors who focus on high-quality examples of the final wheat penny year. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 1958 penny is the existence of rare errors and varieties. These unusual coins were created during the minting process and can be extremely valuable. One well-known example is the 1958 double-die penny. On this rare variety, parts of the design appear doubled, particularly in the lettering. This doubling is not caused by wear or damage, but by a misalignment during the coin's creation. Genuine double-die examples are scarce and highly prized by collectors. Other errors can include off-center strikes, die cracks, clip planches, or weak strikes where parts of the design did not fully form. Even minor mint errors can increase the value of a 1958 penny far beyond that of a normal circulated coin. This is why it's always worth examining old pennies carefully under good lighting and magnification. The Denver-minted 1958 D penny also hold collector interest, especially in high grades. Because such a large number were produced, finding one in average condition is easy, but finding one with flawless surfaces and strong detail is much more difficult. High-quality examples can stand out dramatically and attract serious collector attention. Beyond value, the 1958 penny tells a powerful story about American coinage. It represents the closing of a chapter that began in the early 20th century, spanning world wars, economic change, and major historical events. Millions of these coins passed through the hands of everyday Americans, buying newspapers, candy, and groceries, quietly witnessing history as the nation evolved. For many collectors, the 1958 wheat penny serves as a symbolic bridge between old and new. It connects the classic artistry of early U.S. coin designs with the modern era that followed. This emotional and historical connection adds depth to its appeal, making it more than just a 1-cent coin. If you are searching through old coins, family collections, or inherited items, the 1958 penny deserves special attention. Look closely at the mint mark, examine the condition, and check for unusual details. Never clean the coin, as cleaning can permanently reduce its value and erase important surface characteristics. Even a well-worn penny can be valuable if it has the right features. Collectors often recommend storing copper coins in a dry, stable environment to prevent corrosion and discoloration. Proper storage helps preserve the coin's natural surface and color, which is essential for maintaining long-term value. Simple protective holders can make a big difference in keeping a 1958 penny safe for future generations. The market for wheat pennies remains strong, especially for key dates and final year issues like 1958. As more collectors enter the hobby and more coins disappear into private collections, demand continues to grow. This makes the 1958 penny not only a piece of history, but also a potential long-term collectible. In today's world of digital payments and disappearing physical currency, holding a solid copper penny from 1958 feels like holding a tangible piece of the past. It reminds us of a time when coins were made to last and carry both artistic beauty and historical meaning. Whether you are a seasoned collector or someone just beginning to explore old coins, the 1958 United States 1-cent coin offers something special. It combines history, craftsmanship, collectability, and the thrill of discovery all in one small object.